What happens when you take super prime dirt in Beverly Hills, throw in half a dozen billionaires, Mexico's richest man, Chinese corporate debt, British property tycoons, and the owner of Chelsea Football Club? Well, you get one of the most fascinating luxury real estate tales in modern times. This is the Promote from 1031 Media. I'm Hiten Samtani. Today, we're talking the improbable saga of One Beverly Hills, a $5 billion hospitality dream in America's most exclusive town. Let's break it down. Our story begins with a department store. Remember those things? And not just any department store, the Robinsons May flagship, sitting in the heart of Beverly Hills, right at Santa Monica in Wilshire. The land under the store is owned by insurance company Equitable Life. So in 2004, along come two guys who smell opportunity. David Margulis, who used to be Apollo's man out west, and his partner Arnold Rosenstein. They buy the site for $33.5 million. Now, you're probably thinking, that seems hella cheap for 8 acres in one of the world's most desired cities. But there's a catch. Robinsons May has a 30-year lease on that site at way below market rents. So the income for the properties is laughably low. For those in the business, we're talking a sub 2% cap rate. So Margulis and Rosenstein are buying this thing on a hope and a prayer. Sometimes though, prayers work. Back at Robinsons May HQ, a huge M&A deal is underway. Federated Stores ends up buying the chain in a $17 billion retail LBO. We don't see too many of those at that scale anymore. Now, Federated already has competing stores nearby, so they announced their intent to terminate the lease for the Beverly Hills Robinsons May store. We can imagine Margulis and Rosenstein don't put up too much of a fight. Suddenly, for the laughably low price of $4 million an acre, they own maybe the best development site in the country. They tapped architect Richard Meyer to whip up some plans for a luxury condo at the site. And then, they wait. In 2007, along come the brothers Candy. These British property tycoons are razzle-dazzle from across the pond. The broker involved in the site deal describes them as the, quote, Tiffany of global real estate. The Candys agree to pay $500 million, that's $500 million for the dirt. And look, that's $60 million an acre, meaning the sellers make 15x their money in just 3 years. Talk about right place, right time. The Candy lads are behind One Hyde Park, which is London's answer to Billionaires Row. They see themselves conquering America next. They load up with over $300 million in debt from a Mexican bank controlled by Carlos Slim. He's one of the world's richest men. But Beverly Hills proves a tad trickier than London, and the financial crisis doesn't help matters. By 2010, the Candys default on the debt, and they walk away. A Hong Kong group called Joint Treasure International buys it from the lender for just under $150 million that year. In 2014 comes the Grey Rhino. Now, Dalian Wanda is one of those debt-fueled conglomerates that popped up on the scene and went on a global trophy asset buying spree. It swoops in here and pays about $400 million for the dirt. But China's corporate debt party doesn't last forever. By 2018, Wanda decides it has to sell. And this is where the current era of the site begins. Meet Benny Alagem. He's a semiconductor mogul who puts his fortune from chips into hospitality. In 2003, he bought the legendary Beverly Hilton, home to the Golden Globes and a really core part of Hollywood culture, from TV legend Merv Griffin. Alagem paid about $134 million and then spent some money renovating it, and then partners with the Guggenheim boys to build a stunning Waldorf Astoria next door. Now, the Guggenheim connection brings in Todd Boehly, the billionaire former president of Guggenheim who owns Chelsea Football Club today, and has his fingers in everything from Hollywood Reporter to Dick Clark Productions. He's all over the place. But the guy who runs point for Boehly is Jonathan Goldstein of Kane International, a former top real estate lawyer, they called him solicitors in London, who, with Boehly's backing, has become a major player at the highest levels of CRE stateside. In 2018, Alagem partners with Boehly and Goldstein to snap up the Wanda dirt for about $445 million. And so now they have 17 contiguous acres in primo Beverly Hills. Their plan is hella ambitious, a hospitality mecca. They later bring in Vlad Doronin. He's the owner of the ultra-chic Aman Hospitality Group, a guy who late architect Zaha Hadid called the Russian James Bond. The trio announced plans for a $5.25 billion, yep, you heard that right, project at the site. And what are they building? 300 luxury condos, 37 condo hotel units, and an Amman hotel, which they're going to stitch together with the Waldorf and the Beverly Hilton. So how do you fund such a behemoth? You can't just walk into a bank and say, "Hi, I need $5 billion." You've got to stitch together every possible source of capital. There's a casino REIT called Vici, which provides $300 million in mezz financing. Now, don't ask us how a casino company ends up funding Beverly Hills condos. Then there are the muni bonds. The developers win approval for a special tax district through which they can raise $550 million in bonds for the project. In exchange, the city gets about $140 million in concessions. Maybe some parks, maybe some art, maybe just promises. It's a little too soon and too vague to tell. That still leaves them needing to figure out several $1 billion more. Welcome to creative real estate finance. We'll see which pockets they tap next, but expect at least some private credit action here. Whew, so we go from a tired department store to a $5 billion development. It's an only in Beverly Hills story, with global capital, creative financing, and chutzpah colliding in the heart of America's most expensive zip code. Hope you enjoy this video from the Promote. Please tell us in the comments what project or player you'd like us to dive into next. And please, hit us with a like and subscribe to help others find this. Also, check out thepromote.com and the Promote podcast for more CRE Insider goodness. I'm Hiten, thanks so much, ciao!